New Associated Press poll. We've seen a lot of polling lately, and even Republicans will tell you the president's not having a renaissance regarding his poll standing. And in some polls, there's a consistent trend line, and it's downward, downward. It's kind of the opposite of the price of beef. Here it is from the Associated Press. A really good, well-framed question. Do you approve of the job the president's doing managing the government? Okay, do you approve of the job he's doing managing the government? Now, the government shutdown is obviously going to cause him to take a hit, but this is a pretty big hit. For instance, amongst all adults, he went from 43 approval in March down to 33. Amongst Republicans, from 81 down to 68. Here's a biggie. Down among independents, down from 38 to 25. And one of the things that's causing his problems is he's taking some positions that the base doesn't love. Here he is on Laura Ingram's show talking about H-1B visas, on which he is crosswise with much of MAGA. 112, please.
There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that
the
mean
Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
no,
here.
You don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well,
I'll
give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing. It's very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
Dan, that sounds to me like America last. And as you pointed out, MAGA went crazy yesterday on social media, on podcast, really unhappy with his visa position. Steve Bannon and many others. So Dan, if you were the president's political advisor and he said, "How am I doing? What's up with that AP poll?" What would you tell him?
Well, I think we've talked about it here. He's had a problem since this summer. I mean, almost across the board on every single issue, both kind of overall approval, even on immigration, he has been trending down. And it has been a consistent pattern of independents are frustrated. People don't feel like the changes that they wanted to see primarily on the economy are happening. So from a poll position, like, you have a problem. I think the H-1B visa issue is really fascinating because it does tear both parties apart. Bernie Sanders has railed against this for a decade, going back to when I did immigration lobbying 15 years ago. I think, J.D. Vance, like, where are you here on this? I mean, one night they're having dinner with tech CEOs who absolutely need this, and the next minute your base it does not like it. So I think he's got some problems here, and we'll see kind of, with State of the Union, end of the year, there's a chance to reset. And what's your focus for 2026?
Sean, how would you appraise his current poll standing?
Yeah, so I mean, look, in light of some of not the result, but the process of Doge and then the shutdown of the government, I'm not surprised. I think a lot of people looked at what was happening and just said, this is typical Washington dysfunction. So I'm not shocked by that. And I think with the government reopening, and obviously the lessons of Doge, meaning that there's widespread agreement that our government is dysfunctional and inefficient, but probably explaining the process a little better would be a more effective way of going about it, that number will rise. I will say this on the H-1B visa, this is the kryptonite issue. H-1B visas is the one thing that I think that this White House needs to be careful on. MAGA will go with the president every day of the week, twice on Sunday, on every issue but this. This is an issue that they need to have a better plan on. It started at the beginning of the year with that back and forth between Elon and Steve, and it's continued to be something below the surface that's huge. The problem is this. The president's got a point. You can't just snap your fingers and get people to work on, high tech major issues. But at the same time, we can't just say, well, then that's it. We need to talk about creating the opportunities for Americans, right? And so what does that mean? I think what they should work with is take all those tech CEOs, create some kind of massive private sector, public-private partnership, education grant, apprentice type of thing, where you start funneling Americans into a high-tech type of path, trades, etc., that we can do this. But if you don't have a plan to show how Americans can get those jobs and just say, well, at the end of the day, we don't have the talent, that's not going to be an acceptable answer going forward.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America. And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.